Welcome to Civil Services Achievers Point. We are discussing today the Assam Tribune of 24 and 27 October. This Assam Tribune analysis is based on the new pattern of APSC. This is also useful for other the state level government examinations. At Civil Services Achievers Point, we have various courses. For details, you can call at the number given below. You can also follow us on the social media platforms. These are the answers to the MCQs of 23rd October, and these are the MCQs of 27 October. You can pause the video here and you can try to answer these questions in the comment section below. These are the important newspaper articles we are discussing today and the important editorial. So students, let us begin with the news articles first. The first news article is regarding the International Labour Organization. So recently, this topic we are studying under the General Studies 2 paper topic International Relations. So after 35 years, India has assumed the chairmanship of the governing body of International Labour Organization, with Labour Secretary Apurva Chandra being elected to the post of the chairman of the governing body of the ILO. So since it is a landmark position or a historic position which Indian has held, so APSC will definitely check this, because questions on WTO, on ILO, or questions on World Bank are frequently asked, which are from current affairs. So this question is highly likely to become in the upcoming APSC prelims examination. Then the next article we are discussing, as we have already discussed in our earlier series of current affairs classes. So the latest update is that Center has transferred rupees 6,000 crore to 16 states and 2 union territories. So these we are discussing under the General Studies 3 paper topic Economic Development, and this is as a part of the GST compensation. So as we have discussed in our earlier current affairs class also, that the tax or the revenue which is not received by the states because of the implementation of GST, so the union has agreed to borrow. So the center government has borrowed and transferred rupees 6,000 crore as the first tranche of GST compensation shortfall to 16 states and 2 union territories. So since mainly the opposition ruled states, they demanded that the center should borrow and fund the GST compensation shortfall, means the revenue shortfall which occurred because of the implementation of the GST. Now the finance ministry said that the center would borrow from the market to pay the GST compensation shortfall of rupees 1.1 lakh crore to states, and then act as an intermediary to arrange the back-to-back loans to state governments. So the finance ministry has agreed to borrow, the center would borrow from the market to pay the GST compensation shortfall of rupees 1.1 lakh crore to states. And the ministry said that the government of India has evolved a special borrowing window to address the shortfall in the GST collection during the year 2020 and 2021. So now coming to the next important article, very important article from our APSC prelims examination perspective, is that Sankardeva Award winner BP Chaliha has been hailed, and this we are studying under the General Studies on Assam paper topic culture. So Assam journalist and Literary Pensioners Association President D.N. Chakrabarty has congratulated the winner of the Sankardeva Award this year, that is educationist and scholar and writer Professor Bhava Prasad Chaliha. So you should know that this year Professor Bhava Prasad Chaliha and eminent Kathak artist Jayanta Kastor have been nominated for the Srimanta Sankardeva Award 2020 by the government of Assam. So Srimanta Sankardeva Award is very much important from our exam perspective. One question will definitely come from these awards like Srimanta Sankardeva Award, Assam Literary Valley Award, Assam Valley Award. So these awards are highly important. Who has received these awards? APSC always asks 1 or 2 questions every year. So students should kindly make a note of it and revise them as much as possible. India, US to sign key defense pact. So India's defense minister Rajnath Singh holds talks with US counterpart. So this topic we are discussing under the General Studies 2 paper, International Relations. So India and US militaries have decided to ink a deal to share real-time geospatial intelligence information on maps and satellite images for defense. Now, India will sign a contract with the US for basic exchange and cooperation agreement for geospatial cooperation, that is the BECA. So APSC might ask this question, what is the full form of BECA, or with which country India has signed this contract called BECA? So they will give option like Russia, Japan, USA, Australia, and since these are the countries with which India does frequent military and defense exercises, so we should know that this answer will be USA. Now, under the agreement, the US would exchange technical and procedural information about standardization of methods, specifications, and formats for the collection, processing, and production of geointelligence information with India. Now, what is this geointelligence information with India? Geointelligence information means the information which we can obtain from the satellites regarding the location of enemy territories or enemy activities. So this information was first time India felt the need during the Kargil war. So at that time, India did not have its own GPS, so it sought the help from USA. So at that time, it felt the need to develop its own GPS, and also we should have a military deal or pact with other countries so that we can use the geospatial or geo-intelligence information for our own defense. Now, what is this 2+2 dialogue? So this 2+2 dialogue is a ministerial, is the highest level institutional mechanism between two countries, and it is a format of dialogue. So 2+2 means from India and there is a USA. From India, there will be 2 persons or 2 ministry involved, and from USA there will be 2 ministry involved. So since say from Indian side, defense minister and foreign minister has gone. So parallelly from USA, a person from either a ministry or from secretariat level, there should be a representation from defense or foreign ministry. And for now, India holds 2+2 dialogue with Australia, Japan, and USA. So this is also important that India holds this talk with Australia, Japan, and USA. So now, coming to the next article regarding the nuclear weapons ban treaty to enter into force. So this topic we are discussing under the General Studies 2 paper, International Relations. The United Nations has announced on Saturday that 50 countries have already ratified a UN treaty to ban the nuclear weapons, and it has triggered its entry into force in 90 days. So now, as of Friday, the treaty had 49 signatories, and UN officials said that the 50th ratification from the country Honduras have been received. Now this is particularly important because UPSC in past 2017 or 18 has asked regarding the ICANN campaign. ICANN. So this ICANN has had received the 2017 Nobel Peace Prize for spearheading the nuclear ban treaty. Now the 50 countries that ratified this treaty are showing true leadership in setting a new international norm that nuclear weapons are not just immoral but illegal. So this treaty, after being ratified by 50 countries, it will come into force, and hence nuclear weapons can be termed as illegal under this UN treaty. And interestingly, the 58th ratification came on the 75th anniversary of the ratification of the UN Charter, which officially established the United Nations and is celebrated as UN Day. So this is again important. You can mention in the comment section which is known as UN Day, which date is known as the UN Day. Then coming to the next important newspaper article, Gangtok-Nathula JNM Axis, inaugurated by the Defense Minister Rajnath Singh. So this topic we are discussing under the General Studies 3 paper topic security. So Defense Minister Rajnath Singh has inaugurated the Strategic Alternate Alignment NH 310 Gangtok to Nathula JNM Axis built by the Border Roads Organization in Sikkim. Now this is important because Indian government has recently developed many infrastructures along the border. So this might be asked as a prelims based question. Now coming to the initiative Apne Desh Ko Jano. So we have already covered this topic several times in our daily current affairs classes. So world's longest highway tunnel, the Rohtang Tunnel, which was inaugurated by Prime Minister Narendra Modi early this month, is the world's longest highway tunnel above the altitude of 10,000 feet. So one can move from Manali Valley to Lahore and Spiti Valley in a little over 10 minutes from earlier 5 hours. So the distance was reduced from 5 hours to little over 10 minutes. So you can see the strategic importance of this tunnel. Now coming to the important newspaper editorials of the Assam Tribune. The first editorial is regarding the UN Security Council reforms. So in this newspaper editorial, we are discussing this editorial under the paper General Studies 2 paper International Relations. So the author here discusses that the United Nations is a 75-year-old international body, and now many questions have been raised regarding the functioning and the governance and the purpose of this global body. Now it is a representative body of 193 member nations, and in addition to 2 non-member states, the Vatican City and Palestine. So here it is mentioned that all member nations assemble in the General Assembly in September every year to share their views on global and domestic issues, and at the same time to ventilate their grievances. Now the most agonizing experience with the United Nations is that it has proved to be an ineffective body, incapable of protecting and promoting its purposes and principles as laid down in the Article 1 and 2 of the UN Charter. But the blame primarily goes to the UN Security Council because it has failed to use its power to enforce its own decisions. And we will see here that there is a veto power. So any decision may not be passed if a single permanent member has also vetoed against the decision. So here a brief history is given regarding the permanent members of the UN Security Council. So at the time of drafting of the UN Charter at the San Francisco Conference, when 50 countries tried to give a final shape of Article 27 dealing with the voting procedure of the Security Council, there was a heated debate on the issue of big power role assigned to 5 permanent members, the US, UK, France, Soviet Union and China. So there was an agreement in the Dumbarton Oaks Conference and the Yalta Conference that all the 5 big powers which played the most crucial role in bringing the World War II to end should be given a special status in the Security Council. So there was an agreement that the countries or the powers which played a crucial role in bringing the World War II to an end should be given a special status in the Security Council. Now, it was argued that to handle the vital issues of war and peace, it should be imperative to have unanimity of thought and action among the 5 great powers. So they should be on equal terms. So to that end, the draft of the provisions of Article 27 was placed for discussion. There will be 5 permanent and 11, and now it is 15 non-permanent members. The very idea of permanent members was contested along with the voting procedure in the Security Council. Now, let us have a look to the voting procedure under this article. Number 1, each member shall have a 1 vote. Decisions on procedural matters shall be made by affirmative vote of 9 members, and decisions on other matters, non-procedural, shall be made by an affirmative vote of 9 members, including the concurring votes of the permanent members. So here it is criticized at this point. The Australian representative Dr. Herbert Award raised serious objection to the voting of non-procedural matters in which the concurring votes of permanent members means all 5 members should agree, and it was made mandatory, that is, it was compulsory, meaning thereby that all the 5 members, all the 5 permanent members must agree to any decision on non-procedural, that is political matters. So any matter which will be related to, say, whether to have any war action against any country or whether to even reform the UNSC must require all the 5 permanent members agreement. So it is this clause which is posing as a hindrance in the UN reforms, UNSC reforms. So even if a single permanent member opposed it, no decision could be taken, even if all the other members concur to the proposed decision, and this is called veto power of a permanent member, though the charter has not used the term veto. So the charter doesn't use the term veto, but this provision itself makes the power of the permanent members to nullify any decision which has been agreed by the other all members. And all political matters come under the non-procedural voting, in which the concurring vote of all the 5 permanent members is a must. Dr. Ibat moved an amendment to ensure that the democratic principle of majority voting should govern all matters, procedural or non-procedural. However, interesting fact is that it received the support of 10 members while 20 opposed and 15 abstained from voting. India was among the abstainers. So this historic voting sealed the possibility of any reform in the United Nations, because any move to amend or revise the charter would be treated as a political issue. So you have understanding the point, right? That any amendment or any revision to the charter will itself be treated as a political issue, and since it is a non-procedural or political issue, then if any of the 5 members disagree to this amendment, then the amendment or the reform will not take place. So this is the main governance issue, why UNSC is not reforming, and this is very crucial that institutional reforms should be happening over a period of time, because if reforms are not taken place, then the institution might not remain relevant. So this is again a challenge for the UN to overcome. And coming to the next editorial is the groundwater depletion. So General Studies 1, Geography of India topic. So recently the National Green Tribunal has sent a notice to the center and the Central Pollution Control Board, and following a plea seeking quashing of a notification on groundwater should serve to put the focus on an extremely disquieting concern regarding the depletion of groundwater. So growing the depletion and pollution of groundwater is a serious concern in all the metros, cities of India, and cities like Guwahati is also facing the same issue, the same problem, and it is further complicated by the unsustainable extraction of groundwater for commercial purposes has been adversely affecting the availability of water for drinking purposes across the urban landscape. And especially in state capital Guwahati, the real estate boom since the past 10 years or 15 years has hastened the groundwater depletion process. And we have seen that large scale extraction of groundwater, including done for commercial purposes in violation of law, has led to a situation which could trigger a serious water crisis in cities like even Guwahati also. So it is a necessary that the drinking water supply project should be completed in a time-bound manner, and adequate, clean and safe drinking water should be ensured to every household, not only in urban areas but also in rural areas. So now coming to the next important editorial. So this is a very, very important editorial because here some of the recommendations are made. So here a state selection board has been recommended. So let us see what is the context for this recommendation. Is that as we have come to as it is have been come to known that Assam has been frequently rocked by the various recruiting scams for the various government jobs. So in light of the above context, the Assam government has taken a one-time measure to indulge the universities for conducting the exams. So in this regard, the Dibrugarh, Guwahati, Tezpur and Assam University have been given the responsibility, and the author of this editorial has argued that this should be a one-time measure, and for conducting exams for the non-gazetted posts, the APSC should be either the APSC, the Assam Public Service Commission should be empowered, or a state selection board should be developed or constituted by the state government so as to give a fair and transparent selection process for the various state government jobs in Assam. So this is a very important recommendation. Students can use this recommendation in your answers in both mains and interview questions also. Those who are having interviews during this time, if any question is asked that what changes or how to solve this issue, then this solution can be stated in the interview board also. It is a very good recommendations. So with this, students, we come to an end to today's current affairs class. I hope this class was very helpful. Thank you.